We're going all in on this next phase of the farm expansion. In the last episode, we bought a new field, cultivated it, planted it, and started clearing the brush for another animal barn. This time, we're leaning into the trees, keeping our foot on the gas, and looking to even further expand the farm. We're starting out clearing a couple of the trees from our brand new property. There's a flat area in the middle of the trees that would be perfect for a bigger animal shed. And our sawmill could use some more wood. So we'll get a couple trees cut, then move the branches up to the sawmill. Our plan is to use the trees from the new property to feed the sawmill, which will let us be a little more free with cutting down our lodgepole pines for straight revenue. This smaller box elder is the next one to go. This whole area of trees will eventually have to get cut. Let's see if we can just wrestle this one up and carry it straight to the sawmill. Yes, seems perfectly doable. We'll just get that loaded in. The next tree seems to be this bigger box elder. We're just working our way from the edge of the field back into the forest. I think most of the wood in these things is right in the chunky base. What we're interested in at the moment, though, are the lighter branches. We'll throw a couple of these into the log trailer and see if we can get them moved. Well, we got the second branch, but it feels fairly unruly. We got it on, sort of, but we'll press our luck and stack one more in there. I've got great confidence that the new log trailer can handle it. The perfect drop. Can we get even one more is the question. We'll carry this one and hope for the best. Well, that's not our best. In fact, we've got ourselves in a jam with a school bus pressing us. I think our best bet is to avoid the big bridge and get to the sawmill via our own little wood bridge. Much better. Now a tiny bit of maneuvering to get to the mill. That's one. And almost the rest of the stack. Let's see. Yes, the sawmill is full. We filled it up with scrap timber and still have one branch left over. It's not going to be much, but let's take it down to the paper mill and see if we can at least get ourselves out of our negative $340 debt. Not even close. It was worth only $120, but at least we tried. The only thing left to do for today is pass the day over into April and start working our grass fields. April is our first harvest of grass this year, and because it's raining, we'll wait just a tiny bit before getting out there to cut the wet grass. It's going to be a busy month, so I hate to wait, but the sun is due to come out. It'll be much better to cut with the sun shining. All right, let's get hooked up to our wide and awesome mower and get going. Wow, I'm still impressed with how fast that is. It just makes quick work of all the mowing. Let's give the new field a peek. It's 100% fertilized, needs lime and seed rolling. We knew all that, but at least the grass is on track, and I'd take a reasonable guess at saying it'll bring in about $4,500 once we get it all sorted and harvested. The next job is to start the baling, and for that, we'll use the Dutzfar. The John Deere can handle it pretty well, but the Dutzfar has more horsepower, accelerates quicker and all that, so we'll just put it to use. Well, that didn't last long. What we've got is a shortage of baling twine. And unfortunately, no money to buy more. That's a problem. But it's solvable. I think what I'll do to get the money is something I was going to put off until May. But we'll do it now, and that's to clear out and sell another batch of our trees. The log trailer's playing an important part of our expansion plans. It was definitely a worthwhile purchase. If only we could cut this tree. Not allowed. It let me plant it, but I can't cut it. Fine then, we'll move on with the others and keep going. Nothing can stop a determined farmer. Okay, I figured out our tree. If I stand on this side, it won't let me cut it. But if I move around to the other side, I'm fine. I think I'm so close to the property line that I'm standing in the easement area on one side, but in my own field on the other. But at least we could cut it. We also keep finding these little wedges, but they're easily disposed of as a tiny snack for the sawmill. Such a good sawmill, it deserves a wedge treat. Okay now, back to our cutting and loading. We've got money to earn. Okay, another issue. We're having to manhandle the one tree we had a hard time cutting because it fell into the unowned creek area. Just like felling a tree, you can't cut it up into pieces if it's partly on someone else's field. It has to be on your land. Nothing we can't handle though. We'll show it who's boss and continue the loading. Well, that was a bit of a faff getting it all loaded, but we got it. The real question is, what is it worth? We're $1,100 in debt, so I'm hoping after the sale we'll be over $25,000. Almost 27, but it's too early to celebrate just yet. We did all that mainly to afford more bale netting for the baler. And if we'd been smart, we'd have used the John Deere to struggle over here with that load so we could just use the front loader to bring back the netting. We'll grab the John Deere and be really lazy and use the log fork to bring back the pallet of twine. Surely it can handle that. Well, it's why they say there's a tool for every job. It should hang in there, hopefully, as long as we don't lose it in the river on the ferry. And it's a train. We were already committed to the tracks. We made the right decision to just mash the pedal and hope for the best. Let's get back, get the baler reloaded, and finish our baling. There's still a lot left to do in April. Stopping here for a moment, this is what the new bale netting looks like. I like it better than the whitish one. It looks more natural. We'll stick with this one. All right, both fields baled, and you know what comes next. we've got to get these wrapped in the Anderson to start fermenting for silage. Silage is our main field crop, but this time next year, I hope to have a beautiful field of wheat or barley growing somewhere and getting ready for harvest. We are about to move into some arable crops, and there's also several things I plan to do between now and then. So yeah, it's just going to be a busy year of growth for the farm. Let's get this silage completed so we can fund that operation. Okay, everything's wrapped. Those bales will be ready in July. While I was wrapping, I was thinking about where we are here in April, and I've made a decision. We're going to cut down all the mature lodgepole pines on the farm and buy a new field this month. We just bought a field last month, and we're buying another. If we're able to buy another field, get it cultivated and planted with grass here in April, it'll be ready to harvest in July, along with the new field we just bought last month and all our other fields we just baled. I was going to wait and maybe cut the trees in May or June, but doing it now is better. We can start getting that revenue sooner than later, and I think it'll position us better to get some arable crops going before the end of the year. So yes, now is the time to clear the rest of our trees and make a nice pile of money. Okay, here's the first load, and the only real problem we had is this weird issue where all the logs wanted to start migrating sideways on the trailer. It's very strange. It's not a trailer problem as much as a game thing because it happened on the flatbed. But we got 4 trees on there. Let's see what they're worth. $25,000, bringing us up to about $51,000 in the account. And we have 3 trees left, so that should be enough to buy our field with some money left over. Let's get those last 3 trees and see where we are. All right, this is the last of the trees. And I know we're overloading the trailer a bit, but it really does work so much better than the flatbed. Let's see what the paper mill gives us. A little over $19,000, $70,500 in the account, and we have what we need for another field, which costs $64,500. Roughly $6,000 left over for us to play with on top of the field, which is what we need. Before we buy the field, I want to get the tree area all sorted, which means I think we should get rid of the stumps and plant a new stand of trees. Last time, I waited until after the lodgepole pines had matured before planting more, but it takes 3 years and 4 months to fully grow, which is a long time. So this time, we'll plant another stand while the ones we still have at least a year left to grow. More trees means more money, and we'll start by giving a quick mow and bale of our planting area. It'll give us a little more grass, but mainly it'll help reveal the stumps for grinding. It's hard to imagine a time when we didn't own our own baler. It would have made things like this impossible financially. We'll drop this full bale off by the wrapper, maybe it'll just become goat food later, and gobble up the rest of the grass. Now it's over to the store to rent our stump grinder. We need to grind the stumps, get a planter, plant new trees, buy the new field, get it prepped and planted. All in the next episode. Let me know in the comments if you're enjoying this phase of the farm expansion, and I'll see you in the next one.